Hello everyone, I'm Bekavon and welcome to Roadwarden. This is an indie game, an illustrated text-based RPG, like an interactive fiction game. I picked up the demo for this game during Steam's recent Big Adventure event. It's supposed to be released sometime in 2022. I found actually quite a few demos that I want to try out for upcoming indie games. It was a really cool event. There were a lot of games that caught my eye. A lot of them had the pixelated, kind of retro style that I love. There's apparently a lot of text to read in this game. I have been sick. My voice is still a little bit scratchy, so I don't know how this is going to go. But it looks really cool, and I'm excited to try it. I'm excited to try all these demos. I think I picked up like 6 or 7 of them. Yeah, so look for those in the near future. So let's try Roadwarden. Do we need to look at the settings? Not really. Describe attitudes? What does that mean? Quotes, show quotes, deaf support, very cool. Alright. We're good. New game. Everyone knows to stay away from the wilderness. Most people would never risk a lonely journey. Roadwardens not only accept this struggle, they embrace it. They deliver messages, assist merchants, burn human corpses, and, if possible, get rid of the beasts and highwaymen. They live on the road, die young or retire early. It's a dangerous job, but a respectable one, and it pays well. I leave the safe city walls, or I still have my doubts. You know, I leave the safe city walls, because if I don't, there is no game. What is this pointer? Is it an arrow? A dart? It looks like a dart. The wall is still standing. There are no wolves around, no stench of blood. Good signs. This should be the place you're looking for. You were supposed to meet with a group of soldiers, but you hear no voices, no sounds of labor. The gate is ajar, welcomingly so. But the camp doesn't look safe. It may keep away the goblins and pebblers, but not beast folk, nor trolls, and the night is near. You hear the exhausted breath of your palfrey. What's a palfrey? That's a horse, isn't it? Sorry. I'm weighing up my options. It may be better to avoid this place. I need to look around cautiously. I dismount and sneak to the gate. Let's try to peek inside. Or if anyone's there, I want them to see I'm not afraid. I get off the horse and briskly enter the camp. I dismount and sneak to the gate. I'm very cautious. When your heavy boots touch the ground, you realize how tired you are after the entire day of riding. Tomorrow, your back and legs are going to hurt. All you want now is an inn with a free table, a decent chair, a nice mug of beer, and some warm stew. Perhaps another time. With any luck, your axe won't be needed here. Wait, what does this say? Take care of yourself. If you're hurt or exhausted, some actions won't be available to you. The weaker you are, the higher the chance you'll die in combat. Vitality 3 out of 4. You feel well. I slowly approach the gate. It's bright enough to help you avoid stepping on any branches. Despite your weariness, you have no trouble maintaining control over your shell. You know how to stay quiet. If it's a military camp, it doesn't look the part. Much of the space is wasted, and there are barely any tents. No soul puts the firewood to use. 2 people are sitting at the table, tired and disheartened. They're looking in different directions, without paying attention to one another. One of them is holding a cup, missing a period. After a moment, you notice a quiet humming. You recognize the melody of a light-hearted drinking song from the city port. I'm weighing up my options. Maybe better to avoid this place. I need to look around cautiously. They don't look like much of a threat. I can enter. Can I click this? It looks highlighted. I can't click it. want to be brazen. I need to look around cautiously. The birds, insects, and furry critters living among the trees are as loud as usual. It's a good sign, right? The people inside the camp didn't even notice the sound of trotting hooves. The grasses are short and dry, hardly covering the arid soil of this valley, but it would only take you a minute to reach the sparse woods that are getting denser as they climb up the hills. No wonder there's but a single road leading north. Still, the road is slowly getting overgrown. It must be rarely used. Let's say they don't look like much of a threat I can enter. You don't try to move quietly, yet it takes them a few breaths to even glance in your direction. The person closer to you raises his hand and gently waves to you. His hair and beard are messy, and there are bags under his eyes. His shirt is simple and dirty, though his high boots look expensive, durable. A mace, with a head covered in iron, hangs at his side, but he doesn't reach for it. He smiles slightly. So they're bros, but they're tired bros. I take a look at the second soul. Just like you, she's wearing a gambeson, which in her case wasn't tailored for a female figure, as if she took it off a corpse. Her head is shaven, a common method of treating flesh-eating bugs. Ugh. She looks at you with a gentle smile, though her absent eyes make her appear drained. They look like people left on duty for far too long. You could believe that they are soldiers. I gotta get more water. This is gonna destroy my throat. Alright, well, let's see. Oh, I should save. Quick save complete. Maybe a talking game wasn't the best idea right after being sick. I try to find out where their lieutenant is, or I let them speak first. It's nice to see an unarmed traveler, unharmed. Thought it said unarmed. Nice to see an unharmed traveler in this godforsaken shithole. Makes me just a tiny bit hopeful. The bearded man's voice is strong yet timid. You'll be staying the night with us, I guess. We're soldiers, he and I, adds the armored woman. Just a moment ago she seemed half asleep, but now she sounds soothingly calm, tranquil. We'll do our best to keep the camp safe. But if you take the first watch, it will be a huge help. Travelers ought to help each other, wouldn't you say? That is suspicious. If they're not lying, these are the people you're looking for. Though there should be more of them, an entire squad. I don't trust that. Why do you want me to take the first watch? Y'all are bandits. I'm exhausted. I need to rest. The man looks at you with annoyance. If you say so, he says without conviction. Though better keep your axe nearby. The nights here can get spooky. I'd say sinister, the other soldier adds with a snort of disdain. Was that a jerk move to not take the first watch? We'll find out. I try to find out where their lieutenant is. I feel like they're trying to coerce me into taking the first watch so they can rob me, but... You wonder how to phrase your question. Ooh, whenever you meet new people, you can influence how they perceive you by selecting one of the attitudes. Cool. Alright, what do we got? Friendly, supportive and cordial. Playful, use a joke or witty comment. Distance, hide your emotions. Intimidating, hint at a threat. Or vulnerable. Be sad, tired, afraid, or hopeless. We are going to be friendly. Oh, it changes the response. I was hoping to meet with your lieutenant. Could we talk for a bit? Sure, you're busy, so if you could just introduce me to your lieutenant. I want to speak with someone who's not going to waste my time. God. I've had a long journey. I need to have a word with your lieutenant. Let's just be chill. I'm looking for your lieutenant. The woman stands up, dusts off her gambeson, and rests her hand on the hilt of the sword at her side. Her shoulders are straight, her eyes attentive. It'd be me, traveler. Are you in trouble? I'm fine. I'm your new Roadwarden. I took you for a wayfarer, to be honest. When you mention that your mount is waiting outside, she raises an eyebrow. Shouldn't you unsaddle it? I bet it's tired. She glances at the gate, then at her companion. Her voice gets stronger, and you don't see the shadow of her previous weariness. I expect you're looking for directions. I'll help you as much as I can. She reaches out to you, a polite handshake. Lieutenant Tulia. Shake her hand. It may be a trap. That's kind of how I'm leaning. I gesture for her to stop, pretending to be embarrassed. I should wash myself first, but you can call me, or I don't shake her hand. Got an extra little apostrophe here. I noticed that I really like to see this. It's very well written. It's grammatically correct. It's no spelling errors so far. It's great. I notice things like that. I really like to see that. It's polished. It's clean. I'm doing the trap thing. I really feel like she's trying to get me to do first watch. She's trying to get me to unsaddle my horse so it's not ready to go. So I should wash myself first, but you can call me Lito. Sure, Lito's fine. The lieutenant stands with her hand out, but then raises her arms with an awkward smile. Of course. Just keep your horse away from the tents. She steps away. We don't need the smell of its dung. We should also prepare for the night. The soldier in the shirt also rises to his feet. We don't have a tent to spare. If you don't carry one, you'll have to use a blanket or something. That's fine. I'm used to sleeping under the stars, or I need to get used to it anyway. That is fine. I'm used to sleeping under the stars. I'm one of those weird people that's actually comfortable sleeping on the floor. Something about the pressure of the hard floor is, comforting. You turn away and leave through the gate. Your mount nervously looks around and snorts to show its discomfort. Even though you're used to spending time with palfreys, it's an impressively large creature. Not only higher than you, but also massive, wide, as heavy as it is strong. You can get in the saddle with just a couple of quick movements, but most people wouldn't even know where to begin. From every side, it looks like an impregnable barrier of flesh. Horses are not a common sight in the Dragonwoods. They were brought here from the conquests in the south, and can't survive in the forest by themselves. They can run for a long time, but not fast enough to escape all of the local monsters. But it's a disciplined beast, trained by the experts since it was a foal. It can keep it together. It's my only companion here. I want it to feel at ease, or I don't care how it feels, but I need it to be strong if I want it to travel, and I can't afford another one. It's my only companion here. Don't be a jerk. Once you show up, it takes a few steps towards you. It snorts again, rebukingly. It doesn't like to be left behind, even for such a short time. You scratch the bottom of its neck, with strength and confidence, just the way it likes it. People avoid referring to their palfreys and pets as either he, she, or they. Animals are seen as monsters in disguise. Getting emotionally attached to them is believed to lead humans to their doom. But you know that horses are different. They want companionship. They want to be taken care of. Sure, it's difficult to tame them, but at least they aren't as aggressive as wolves. You honestly don't understand how someone can reject the friendship of such beautiful creatures. I speak to it gently and lead it to the camp. You end up next to the campfire. Removing the saddle alone makes the horse nicker with relief. You take a couple minutes to examine its back just in case. While the riding equipment is not that heavy for such a strong animal, with enough time, it starts to chafe. You wish it had something better to eat than this shabby grass. You should look for an inn. I need to unpack my belongings. Check if everything is safe. You are settling right in, aren't you, buddy? What's my name? Lito? Lito. You haven't packed that many things. Fewer than you'd wish for, and you'd lost one of the sacks while fleeing crimson corpse eaters. Worst of all, you have no rope left, but maybe the soldiers could share one. Shouldn't cost more than a dragon bone. A dragon bone? Is that currency? Aside from the travel equipment, you own a few valuable possessions, ones that are essential for your trade. Fighter, mage, or scholar. Cool. I spend my savings on decent combat equipment. I have a fine gambeson, an axe made of steel, and a reliable crossbow with quarrels. Mage, I have talismans that help me use my powers, as well as an iron axe and a worn gambeson. A mage with an axe, that's pretty cool. Scholar, I carry writing instruments and alchemical ingredients, as well as an iron axe and a worn gambeson. I want to learn more about the 3 classes. Let's do that. Oh my. Let me get some water. As a fighter, you'll have an easier time in physical challenges thanks to your superior equipment and hidden bonuses during dice rolls. There are dice rolls? I'm excited. You'll be physically more capable than the other classes, which opens unique opportunities during some social interactions, like what? Since you won't need to spend much money on new weapons during your journey, it's the best class for RPG beginners. Fighter's weakness is a reliance on physical strength. Your special abilities won't be available to you if your vitality points drop to 0. The mage uses Pneuma, a versatile but limited pool of energy that can be spent to cast a few humble spells. Magic won't protect you better than a sharp axe, but as a mage you'll be able to heal faster while resting, detect magic in a mysterious area, distract a beast with a simple trick, and find a common tongue with other magic users. Using the mage's powers too freely will result in having no Pneuma left when you need it the most. The scholar will know more about the world's mysteries than you, helping you take advantage of some unusual situations. This class will help you impress the locals with your character's knowledge, and you'll be able to read the sparse written clues without anyone's assistance. Scholars struggle with combat more than the other classes, but with enough carefulness and exploration, you'll gain access to alchemical mixtures that will help you escape many dangers. I don't want to be a scholar. We're going to go with fighter. I'm feeling buff today. Open your inventory to see your possessions. Taking hits will damage your armor. You can then fix it in various settlements. Very neat. You unpack and inspect your belongings. Your water skin isn't pierced. The spare clothes are still here. Just in case, you take a look at your wooden bowl and a mug. Your cape, tinderbox, bandages, food rations, a knife. Nothing special or too cumbersome. From time to time, your routine helps you avoid mistakes, but this doesn't make it any more exciting. I return to the soldiers. They are at the table again, observing you and quietly talking to each other without trying to hide it. Your stomach growls as you see them eating out of wooden bowls. There's no bowl for you, but at a previously unused end of the table, you see a wooden log that is meant to be used as a stool. I take some of my own food rations and join them. Or I don't want to eat with them. I sit down and ask Talia what she can tell me about this area. I am a Roadwarden, so I would probably be interested in the area first. She's focused and carefully chooses her words. Whenever she pauses to gather her thoughts, she glances at something in the distance, but for most of your conversations, she doesn't avoid eye contact. I can only say as much as I know, and that's not much. She nods toward the other soldier. As you can see, there's not a lot of us left. At the beginning of summer, there were 8 of us, including our previous lieutenant. 5 are dead. 1 has run away in tears. We're also strangers in this land, as her companion. What is this? Keeping your stomach full will make you stronger. Starvation won't allow you to restore vitality while resting. Okay. Any piece of information may help me do my job. The man leans forward, his legs nervously shake. He sounds enthusiastic, like a kid who's asking a bard to sing one more story, tell a joke, or do a magic trick. Whatever it takes to escape from boredom. You realize his untrimmed beard hides a much younger face than you had originally thought. What did the officials tell you when they sent you here? I expect not that much. No soul governs these lands. I share what I consider to be relevant, or what I've discussed with the officials should stay between me and them. I share what I consider to be relevant. I don't want to be a total jerk. You tell the soldiers how little guidance you've received. Since this area is too far away from Bekavon to keep it under control, you were warned that it's untamed and unknown. Who knows how many villages, bandits, or monsters may be found in these hills and forests? There are no maps that could help you, and you've just found the last military squad that was sent here. From time to time, new people come here to look for boundless opportunities. Most of them never return. Do they turn into walking corpses, or find what they're looking for? No soul could tell me, so I was looking for your guidance. Wow, that's a lot of options. Okay. The lieutenant drinks from her cup and crosses her legs, ankle on knee. Seeing her chair makes you doubt she'll be able to find a comfortable position. So, go ahead. Where should we start? All right, my options are, what should I know about the peninsula? I need to know what happened to the previous Roadwarden. Any ideas? I've lost my rope. Could you spare one? Oh, what happened to your squad? Tulia, how'd you become a lieutenant? What was your squad's mission? Anything I should know about this camp? If you were me, where would you go next? Before I continue my journey, I need to ask them about the peninsula, the Roadwarden, and the rope. Got it. What should I know about the peninsula? I'll just tell you all I know, and you be the judge, says the lieutenant. Why is it highlighted? Certain things. How long did it take you to get here from the city? On a decent palfrey, I'd guess it would be 3-4 days. When you confirm, she continues, the roads here will take you to the coast in about a day, as long as you don't make any stops. Do you know the situation? Why can no ship get here? You nod. Having a secure sea route allows the Bekavon officials to keep in touch with the coastal villages, collect taxes, move the soldiers around, transport lumber, deliver fish. But maintaining the order on a wild coast such as this one is as filling the ocean depths with coins. Because of the rocks, you can hardly stop a ship 5 miles from the shore, and boats can't get much closer. She nods. I don't know much about fishing, but there's not that many people living by the shore, and they don't care much about staying in touch with the city for whatever reason. As she pauses, the man carries on. No soul from the north ever came to the camp, but when we travel to the roadside inn, Clean Spear, they're happy to trade and to play dice. So the highlighted stuff is, just like, it looks like people and places of note. Why not just stay at one of the settlements? The man clears his throat. I mean, we're to guard this road. This camp is our post. And, well, he turns toward his companion. She doesn't look back, instead staring at you. Her words are tense and quiet. Don't take it the wrong way, Leto, but are you a devout soul? Oh boy, I sense a big decision here. Like most city folk, I believe that people should unite their strength to overcome the threats of nature and dark magic. Everyone will be judged for both good and evil deeds. I'm a part of the United Church. For many years, I've supported a monastery which does its best to advance mankind's spiritual growth, artistry, herbalism, and magical research. I follow the teachings of an order of truth. I'm from a small village. For me, the freedom of shell, pneuma, and soul are the main virtues of life. My community is unique and independent, and so are its members. I have a place in my fellowship. I follow the path of my ancestors, even though it's forbidden in the cities. Some of my beliefs may be considered sinister and treacherous by the larger religions. You'd probably call me a pagan. There is no evidence of deity's existence, and all the mystical tales are explained by magic. No, I'm not. I don't need to answer this question. I really don't. Let me think for a second. Leto's going to be practical. We're going to say there's no evidence of deity's existence and all the mystical tales are explained by magic. No, I'm not. The man nods, so I thought. I've heard that most Roadwardens drift away from churches. It doesn't matter to me, to neither of us, I think, as the lieutenant, peeping at her companion. I just wanted to make sure I won't step on any touchy subject. You won't. Go ahead. Alright, I made an okay choice. The people here are disquieting. Every few words she taps the table with her finger. Their traditions won't help them negotiate with the city folk. Here's an example. She starts to draw invisible lines with her index finger, as if she's pointing at an invisible map. The peninsula is connected with roads, and these roads are like a circle. If you get to its northwestern part, you'll find a weird village at a bog. It's not exactly pagan, I don't think so. It even has a priest who claims to be an eremite. An eremite from a fellowship. They do crazy shit. The man scratches his beard. They use the dead to cut down trees and dig in soil. Once I saw it, I begged the lieutenant to never return there. Huh. I see. You've heard tales such as this one since you were a child. If an isolated settlement manages to survive without a city's influence, its customs and traditions grow more and more alien. Every generation learns how to adapt to the dangerous conditions they have to deal with. And the rustic pagan traditions muddy their river of faith. The church and the orders often warn their members about the crazy druids, necromancers, and blood mages who are supposedly going to bring doom upon any village that won't banish them. But you've always hoped that these rumors are a bit exaggerated. If the soldiers are right and this is the real deal, it may be dangerous. Were you able to speak with these necromancers? And how about the East? Any monster worth mentioning? Anything that could catch my mount? That's all I need to know. Were you able to speak with the necromancers? You can see why we were not eager to go there if we could avoid it. The lieutenant smiles apologetically. I'm sure they'll be more welcoming to a Roadwarden, though. The majority of the roads here are unprotected. There are almost no shelters around. People need your help. The man turns a bit and points a finger to the northwest. If you're heading to the undead village, you'll get to an inn first, and soon. Tulia nods. It's a safe place, this clean spear. You can talk with the innkeep or the guards, ask them about the road. And how about the east? She stares off across the camp. Hard to tell. We went there only once. There are hills, forests, rivers. We saw a tunnel sculpted in leaves and twigs, but we didn't enter it. The entire west is not much more than wilderness. Any monster worth mentioning? Anything that could catch my mount? We saw all sorts of beasts, says the man, starting to count on his fingers. Goblins, tree ants, cats large and small, runners, howlers, wolves, spiked boars, sheep eaters, tons of griffins. But we managed to stay away. Yes, some could catch up with most mounts. Tulia looks at her companion, but you're not sure how to read this gesture. though a palfrey should be fine. The trees are high here, so the flying creatures usually stay near the ocean and in the mountains. There's not that many humans around, and the animals are busy fighting among themselves. They fight more for food than territory. The man cracks his knuckles. Don't provoke them and ride fast. Just count on luck. That's all I need to know. I think that's all we have to say. Not much, but maybe you have some other questions. I need to know what happened to the previous Roadwarden. Any ideas? Tulia frowns and takes a deep breath. Aren't you a bit late for a rescue mission? We haven't heard from him for almost half a year. The soldiers speak for a bit between themselves, trying to get their story straight. They confirm that they've met him several times, but he was only willing to speak with the previous lieutenant. He then used the camp once or twice as a shelter, then stopped showing up at all in early summer. The bearded soldier grabs a wooden log and starts to sculpt it with a knife without looking at you. I don't remember his voice. He wasn't looking for friendships. Always busy, drowning in things to take care of. He would sit somewhere, sharpen his sword, fix the mail, clean clothes, write notes on this wax tablet of his. Yep, and leave it done. Unlike us, Asterion never gets bored. Tulia lets out a joyless chuckle. He's a secretive man when he needs to be, but some of the locals speak about him warmly. I guess he just doesn't like us. Sounds like you're not sure if he's dead or not. Sounds like you're not sure if he's dead or not. It's not quite the right way to say that. If anyone knows, they won't tell us. Maybe someone keeps him in a basement. The man sculpts with passion. I doubt he is alive. We haven't seen him or his lizard. Lizard? No idea where he could have gone. Something already ate him, most likely. I mean, the officials have already hired you, right? They don't expect him to return. Richer Roadwardens often use four-legged, meat-eating saurians as their mounts. They have to be tamed and trained since they're hatching, but unlike horses, can easily defend themselves from many monsters. On the other hand, they enjoy attacking nearby targets a bit too much. At least your palfrey is fast and reliable, and won't suddenly sink its teeth into an innocent passerby. Do you know what he was looking for? Maybe he left you a message? Neither one of us had any insight into his business, says Tulia. My predecessor likely knew more. We looked through his things after he died, but he didn't leave any clues. We also took a look at what Asterion left here. Wait. She raises her open palm. I almost forgot. She stands up and heads to a nearby tent. Asterion has kids in a village near Bekavon. I was planning to take all his things there. A purse, his backup spear, a decent bow, some potions. Quite a treasure. She finally turns back to you, but I would much prefer to bring them the truth about their father. So you want me to find out what happened to him in exchange for his stuff? Sounds like a deal to me. Here's the catch. She dusts off the hilt of her sword. We've hired a messenger to ask the commanders for further orders. Since she hasn't returned and you know nothing about them, she either ran away or something happened to her. She sighs with resignation. It doesn't matter now. We were meant to stay here till fall, though I don't think we'll manage. Instead, we'll head home after 20 days. One day after that, at dawn, we're leaving the camp and moving to the city with everything we have. What do you think? Can you manage? Manage what? I don't understand the question. As you ponder, you think about your real mission. You were planning to return to Bekavon in the early fall anyway. So is she asking if I'll be done with my business within 20 days? I think that's what she's getting at. If he's alive, I don't think he's going to be happy when I take away all of his possessions. Journal updated. Find the Roadwarden. Use your journal to see the list of quests. Okay? True, but he's considered dead. If you find him, you can share your reward with him, but there's a good chance you'll save his life. Or maybe you'll find his shell lying on the roadside. He had mail, used mostly a spear. Quite a short guy, maybe 5 feet tall. Long red beard, short hair, also red. Rather pale face. Rarely smiles. Sounds like a dwarf. She glances at her companion, but he shrugs. So bring him here, or find out what happened to him. If he's dead or left the peninsula, let me know. Just do it before the 20 days are up. I don't know if you guys can hear my cats in the background. They're going crazy. Sorry, they're running up and down the hallway, chasing each other. She sits down again and stretches out her legs. Any more questions? I've lost my rope. Can you spare one? You're in luck. She heads toward one of the crates and moves aside a large linen sack, then grabs a rope that was covered by it. She brings it back and nonchalantly sits down on her chair. If you want it, take it. I was planning to leave it behind. During some conversations, you can start trading. Cool. I should take a look at the rope. Should I? Okay. Where is said rope? Trade? Oh, I see. Okay. A fine rope. A regular rope made of hemp fibers. Cost 0. What are these? Monies? Cost 0 monies. I take it and offer some food in return. I'm doing that. I feel a little bit bad for thinking they were trying to trick me or trap me. They seem legit now. She leans forward and rests her arms on her thighs, looking down with clasped hands, then meets your eyes. I'd normally refuse, but we need some decent food. Every day I'm searching through our groats. What's a groat? Looking for worms and putridity. We forage, but it's not a decent spot for that. I'm grateful for your offer. Having some food rations will make a foggy day not so tiresome. For now, you leave the rope on the table. You already know the right place for it on your saddle. This is a lot of talking. My throat is getting scratchy. I might have to break this up into several sessions. I'm not sure how long the demo is, but reading it out loud is going to make it like twice as long. What happened to your squad? The man shrugs. Bandits happened. And monsters. A large group of bandits, though, his companion chips in. When we got to the peninsula in spring, we saw some people living in this camp. The lieutenant decided to avoid it and look for an inn. We had to travel through the night for a bit. Her companion scoffs and crosses his arms. But she carries on. If he had decided otherwise, we would all have died that day. The innkeeper explained that the camp is a trap, that the armed ones pretend to be soldiers. That's what I thought y'all were doing. Stay there at night, lose everything you have. Huh. Sounds like slave hunters. Should I be suspicious? Tulia sighs. Very much so. They killed some and took others away, who knows where. They were letting the northerners go, hoping to avoid their wrath. It kind of worked, adds the other soldier. We asked them for help, but they refused. We had to clear the entire camp on our own, and that's why 3 of our people died. Don't exaggerate. It's not like the lieutenant didn't make a mistake. He wanted to get rid of them and take over their camp, but we didn't know our enemy well enough. We were outnumbered, and they had an ice mage among them. She looks at you. At least we cleared the road. Saved lives. You mentioned monsters as well? Nothing that would surprise you. Those of us who survived the skirmish were young, too inexperienced to spend a summer in this place without a good leader, and they didn't trust me. One of them got caught by a tree ant. Another one ignored my orders to perform some sort of a ritual hunt, so a werebear tore her to pieces. The last one tried to act tough. Didn't tell us that he had cut his hand while cleaning his gambeson. She ghastly chuckles. I don't think that's right. We had to cut it off, and he was so ashamed that he decided to walk north. Find a new life, disappear. Idiot. What a colorful journey. The man tries to drink from his mug, but it's empty. At least you made this place safer, or I stay silent. At least you made this place safer. Barely. Tulia seems tired. And who knows if it was worth the lives and effort. Tulia, how did you become a lieutenant? That's not much of a story, honestly. She looks at her hand, which is currently rolling a mug over the table. In the city, there's a strict order of... what should I call it? She exchanges looks with her companion, but he can't help her. Well, leadership succession, I guess. Havlavon chief selects commanders, those select lieutenants, and those put their soldiers in order of priority. If a lieutenant dies, they get replaced by the next soldier in line. So, you were his successor? Nah, not exactly. When we fought the bandits, our lieutenant was hit by a slingshot. His boyfriend jumped to help him, but failed to protect either of them from a spell. It was like a ball of ice that hung above them and exploded, piercing their heads, completely avoiding their shield. Really unpleasant. She pauses. And you were the third one in line, is that right? Or jumping like that to save a man in the middle of an attack. Doesn't sound like a wise decision. We're gonna say, and you were the third one in line, is that right? Basically, yeah, she says without enthusiasm. I didn't plan to become a leader, though. I'll get demoted once we return to the city. I prefer to follow anyway. After another pause, you think you could ask another question. What was your squad's mission? The lieutenant looks into your eyes. You know, the usual. Making the road safe. Keeping people alive. I explain that it may be important for me to know what they have tried to accomplish. I can't really tell you. You sense no hesitation. Do you have any other questions? She doesn't trust me enough to tell me about her squad's mission. Okay. Maybe I should have taken first watch. Anything I should know about this camp? It turns out that the soldiers don't know much about this place. From what they've told you, it was built by some merchants who wanted an extra stop for mules and donkeys, just between the inn and the southern villages. There's plenty of grass here and a pond nearby. When the peninsula grew more dangerous, the camp stood abandoned, from time to time serving as a shelter for travelers. It's hard to say if the bandits had intended to arrive here and inhabit this place, or if they had accidentally stumbled upon it. They came here in spring, further paralyzing the exchange of information between the northern and southern settlements. Since these highwaymen are no more, the situation may reverse. Time will tell. Though Havlavon would need more people to accomplish this, those willing to get rid of the local threats. You can sleep here whenever you want, the man concludes their tale, though don't expect to wake up without pain in your back. If you were me, where would you go next? The man quickly answers, to the inn, of course. He grabs his empty mug. The one northwest from here. If you can't afford the room, the main hall is free of charge. The locals rarely gather there. The northern road is much more traveled, mentions Tulia. But the hunters will tell you about this and that, and you'll have a chance to introduce yourself. The innkeeper is a man who knows how to listen, and knows many souls. Any tips on how I can make a good first impression on him? She smirks. Avoid cheap jokes. Stick to business. Don't waste his time. Show him that you can be relied on. That is what I would do anyway. It's getting late. I think we should prepare for the night. Let me save. Actually, let me do a real save. It seems like preparing for the night feels like kind of a turning point. Yes, it's late. Tulia sighs with relief, and you'll need a lot of sleep on your journey. Open the archive to reread the most recent text. I am good. I stand up and prepare for the night. You go to the barrel and splash water on your face, which makes you even more aware of how much you need a bath. After the night, it will only get worse. You open your bags, only to realize you have already checked on your equipment just a couple of minutes ago. Your horse is already napping. If it won't be alerted for an hour or so, it can lay down and truly rest. You've survived quite a long journey and reached an unfriendly area. Your first success as a Roadwarden. Stay tidy to have a better chance to influence others. Appearance, 2 out of 5. You don't stand out from the crowd. You won't get much cleaner without a proper bath. Okay. Is that why she didn't want to tell me? Because I'm dirty? I look for a place protected from the wind. I use my bag as a pillow, put my blanket on the ground, and cover myself with my cloak. You aren't used to sleeping in such harsh conditions, but it's better than nothing. The weather is gentle. Maybe you won't catch a cold. The stars instantly inspire your dreams, both with their splendor and by making you look for patterns and shapes among them. Your job, or maybe an adventure, starts tomorrow. You can't help but think about the things you were asked to do by the merchants that hired you. What was I asked to do? What is my real job here? I focus on the real goal of my journey, which is... The Bekavon officials want to take control of this realm. You're meant not only to protect the travelers, but even more importantly, to explore the peninsula. Find valuable spots that would convince the merchants to organize a new trade route. Figure out if there are any precious resources that could invite more settlers. You need to talk with the locals and get to know them, maybe even convince them to collaborate with your employers. Could they resist the arrival of soldiers? Are they going to oppose the laws of the United Church? Are there any activities that need to be eradicated, such as blood magic, necromancy, robbery, or slavery? At least I have time, 30 days to be exact. I need to be as thorough as I can. Wow. Okay, neat. Once you finish your reconnaissance, you should return to Bekavon, report back to your employers, and get your reward. In the meantime, you have your own goal to pursue. I need to gather extra coins so I can help someone I care about. I need to gather some extra coins so I can retire early and live in prosperity and safety. I get to choose my own personal goal. That's neat. If I gather enough connections among the local leaders, I'll use them to become a major player in the Merchant Guild. I want to be remembered as the soul who brought peace and order to this realm. A hero. I just want to help people, make this region safer for the locals and the newcomers alike. I need to find a new life for myself. I have a difficult past and I want it to be forgotten. Let's say... I just want to help people, make this region safer for the locals and the newcomers alike. Sounds like a noble goal. New shelter unlocked. Journal updated, help others. Your half-asleep senses are catching the sounds of the wild forest. Your instincts keep you alert and anxious, though the pleasant, humid, late summer air slowly evens it out. You're thinking about your goal, but you need to gather your strength. All I can do now is rest. You can't travel during the night. Press the rest button to sleep. Aye, aye, Captain. Boop. Sleeping on the ground. Your blanket won't be your blanket won't be much of a bed and the palisade barely covers you from the wind. Sleeping here will be severely uncomfortable. After your rest, your nourishment level will be lowered by 2 and your appearance level by 1. So I'm going to be a true bum. Alright, we'll sleep.